Hey, high school literacy leaders. Welcome back to Curriculum Chats. This is DLC Foster Yankee. And in this video, I'll be discussing the fourth lesson in the third section of the Alexander Hamilton unit. Here are the goals, TEKS, and ELPs for this lesson. Students are writing responses that demonstrate understanding of multiple texts, including comparing primary and secondary sources with the musical. They'll analyze how Miranda develops complex yet believable characters through the historical and cultural settings and events depicted in the musical, and they'll analyze Miranda's purpose and message within Hamilton. The text for this lesson is Hamilton the Revolution, and then there's also the optional Disney Plus performance. And the materials for this lesson are a few tools. We have Acts 1 and 2, Notice and Wonder note-taking tools, the Alexander Hamilton Burr Hamilton note-taking tool, and the comparison organizational frame. Students will also use the academic discussion reference guide and the Alexander Hamilton Section 3 question set. Here is our lesson overview. We will discuss our thoughts on Miranda's interpretation and portrayal of Hamilton and Washington's relationship. Then we will listen to and read 6 songs from the musical, focusing on collecting evidence that will help us explain Miranda's interpretation of Hamilton and Burr's relationship and what led to Burr killing Hamilton. Right, so here we go. The first activity in this lesson picks up where the last activity in the previous lesson left off. Students work in small groups discussing the similarities, differences, and conclusions they drew about the relationship between Hamilton and Washington as seen in the musical and in the primary and secondary sources. After discussing their comparison organizational frame, they discuss the guided questions on the screen as a group. Finally, they come together as a class and share their inferences and comparisons. Suggested supports would be for the teacher to consider having students use conversation stems during the discussion, such as those found in the academic discussion reference guide. They might also encourage students to practice using literary terms, academic language, and the vocabulary they have been exposed to in this unit or in prior units. Further supports include teacher modeling of how to use academic language in a discussion and allowing English learners the option to discuss the topic in their home languages and report their discussion in English. In Activity 2, the class closely reads Wait for It, focusing on the guided question on the screen and the Burr Hamilton note-taking tool to guide their thinking and note-taking. This activity is designed to be completed as a class because it models how students will closely read subsequent songs with a partner and on their own. So a gradual release here. So we should definitely see some teacher modeling of this activity. In Activity 3, which is optional, students rewatch the scenes for the songs Nonstop, Schiller Defeated, The Election of 1800, Your Obedient Servant, and The World Was Wide Enough from the film stage production of Hamilton. While rewatching, they add any additional observations, thoughts, and questions to their Acts 1 and 2 Notice and Wonder note-taking tools. Suggested supports would be to rewatch these scenes from the film stage production to help students recall and expand their thinking about these 5 songs prior to further study in the next activities. For this lesson's final activity, students work with a partner to closely read Nonstop, Schiller Defeated, The Election of 1800, Your Obedient Servant, and The World Was Wide Enough, focusing on the guiding question on the screen. How does Hamilton interpret and portray Hamilton and Burr's relationship? I think that should say, how does Miranda interpret? They use the Burr Hamilton note-taking tool to guide their thinking and note-taking, discussing with their partner if there are other songs in the musical that will help them answer the guiding question. If so, they add any evidence they find in the evidence from the text column. After closely reading the songs and adding evidence, students think about how the details are connected and express their understanding in the form of an observation or claim in the final column. Ideas and thoughts are shared in a class discussion. Suggested supports. Depending on how well students did with closely reading as a class when the teacher modeled in Activity 2, they may need to complete this activity in small groups to offer students more support. If students need additional support with accessing the text, there are text-dependent questions in the teaching notes. So that concludes this lesson, and our cub is students will know what led to Burr killing Hamilton. They'll understand how Miranda portrays Hamilton and Burr's relationship, and they'll be able to explain how Miranda interprets and portrays Hamilton and Burr's relationship using the Burr Hamilton note taking tool to discuss with a partner. All right, so that's a wrap for this video. I welcome your feedback and look forward to hearing from you either on Twitter, via email, or in the comments. While you're here, don't forget to subscribe so you never have to worry about missing a video. Thanks for watching.